Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Just when you thought maybe, you know what, the Black Friday deals were all what we were thinking about. Maybe we're stuffed from the turkey. Well, I personally don't need turkey, but I know there can't be no other way for our guest. He had plenty. Just when you thought maybe we were waiting for desserts, just when you thought maybe we were waiting for the next football game, or maybe we are just, I don't know, just disappointed with the entire day, starting off with the Macy's Day Parade. Have no fear, because there can't be no other way that we celebrate Thanksgiving with the founding father of a platform he helped build to get us yet again to another monumental moment here. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. But our guest here is, well, just days away from the biggest match of his career coming up in Cleveland. No, not where LeBron famously had all that talent he created for himself. No, we're talking Cleveland, Mississippi, and OCW. We are going to be talking about that here over the next hour. We are going to be talking about some words from a Tyrant King and a nemesis. We're also going to get you ready for next Saturday. And we're most certainly going to be bringing up that big boss TIP. And I am sure that there are plenty of people out there that want to talk to this man because he hasn't been here in weeks, but he's been waiting for the right time to come back home on a platform that he helped build, and help us get to yet another watershed moment. And also maybe start the, well, Black Friday weekend off with a slew of compadres and, well, let's just say peers of his returning to Sportswire Radio. Plus, I'll have an announcement or two from yet another man that this individual has shared a screen with here over the years on Sportswire Radio and elsewhere. But we'll certainly get into that. But I know that our man has been waiting for weeks here. The man of the hour has been waiting for weeks to come home and talk about what is ahead. Plus, he's got something to unveil that nobody else has seen here. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time here to celebrate Thanksgiving on the only platform where all music and wrestling matters here, because there can't be no other way than to be back with the man that has over 135,000 followers on all of his social media platforms. So, ladies and gentlemen, put down the turkey, put down the stuffings, put down the cranberry juice, put down the remote, forget about NFL football, forget about those Black Friday deals. It's now time to start this show off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, wait for it. Further ado here on the Sports Report. Number one.
What? What?
That show, a man that for over 4 decades has been at the forefront of the wrestling circuit and the All Wrestling Matters movement. A man that on social media is more popular these days than Taylor and Travis combined. A man that has certainly helped build Sportswire Radio into what it is today. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is simply but the nemesis, the Tyrant King, James Taylor! My friend, how are we doing? And welcome home.
I love the excitement and the enthusiasm that you always bring to the show, Tom. I'm really grateful, and I'm thankful for that here on Thanksgiving Day. Happy Thanksgiving to anybody that's out there. If you don't celebrate it, happy holidays, regardless of the fact. But here I am.
You need to tell me, wait a minute. I know we're going to get to OCW's video, but there are people out there, and I had this conversation. I was out and eating, and I normally don't go out to fancy places, but it was Thanksgiving, and I decided to do it, and they were talking about this at the table I was at, my mother and her husband, and I guess it was his friend, his uncle and his friend, and they were talking about this, and they were saying, who doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving? And everybody celebrates Thanksgiving. I mean, this is not Christmas, not Hanukkah, not Kwanzaa, Ramadan. I think Thanksgiving is, at this point, everybody celebrates Thanksgiving. You mean to tell me there's somebody out there that doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving? I don't even eat turkey, but I still celebrate Thanksgiving. I had ham.
There you go. I mean, it's all about being thankful for what you got in life. Whatever it is that you've been through, everybody's got a story, and you're still here today for an obvious reason. I'd be thankful for it. I know I always am. So I don't know. There's some people, though, believe it or not, that don't celebrate it. Just keep that in mind. That's all I know.
You know what? I certainly, I guess you learn something new every day. But James Taylor, it has been a minute since you have been here, and there are definitely people in the chat, some individuals that you shared a locker room with that definitely will want to talk to you, and I'm sure others will come on here in a little while, but it has been a minute. Yeah, well, we'll certainly, I'm sure, get to their comments, but let's certainly dial it down a notch. And for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you most certainly helped build as a founding father of Sportswire Radio, what is going on with you and Omega Championship Wrestling next Saturday?
Next Saturday, I'm supposed to be scheduled for a one-on-one contest with one Big Boss TIP for the Omega Championship Wrestling Delta Heavyweight Championship. But a couple of weeks ago, let's just say they had an anniversary show. OCW celebrated their 1-year anniversary show.
Congratulations.
And it was a hell of a show. If you haven't gone and seen it, ladies and gentlemen that's in the chat and anybody watching this in the future, I recommend that you go check them out. I'm pretty sure Tom will put some type of a link to OCW's YouTube channel in the description below or whatnot. But go check out the most recent show, the 1-year anniversary show. It was a hell of a show. I wasn't at the show. I didn't attend the event because I wasn't booked for the event. I'm booked for December 6th. My time is December 6th in that square circle. At least that's what I thought until I watched the 1-year anniversary show between Twan Tolliver and some rando, I don't even know what his name is. And ladies and gentlemen, you know what, Tom? I brought a piece of footage that I'd like to share with the world. If you'd like to share it with them,
I would love to. I would certainly love to, because I think that it's going to be a topic that's going to be throughout the conversation. So let me share my screen, going right into it here for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage that you as a founding father helped build, Sportswire Radio. And we're going to put the volume up. I'm going to put it right up to the very beginning. And here we go.
2 months ago, James Taylor went to Cleveland, Mississippi at Omega Championship Wrestling, made his debut. I went right into a fatal 4-way match, and I earned my shot at the Big Boss TIP and his little OCW Delta Heavyweight Championship. And then just a couple of weeks ago, OCW celebrated their 1-year anniversary, and they had Twan Tolliver, I don't even know what kind of damn name that is, win a one-on-one match to become the new #1 contender to the OCW Delta Championship. And that pisses me off. Let me show you a little piece of footage, ladies and gentlemen. Please take a look. Now I have to say, despite what you did in that match, Twaliver or whatever the hell your name is, I give you a little bit of credit that you came out the victor. But really pisses me off is the fact that you are even considered to be the number one contender. I didn't understand one damn word you just said. But what it sounds like is that you're going to become the new champion on December 6th in Cleveland, Mississippi. Is that right? I don't think so. I am demanding that the owner, that the board of directors of Omega Championship Wrestling take a look at this situation we got right now, because yours truly earned his shot. And I didn't wait till after the match to call him out. I waited till the man showed what he had to do that same very night. And I went out to the ring, as you can see right here.
We had that footage here last month.
I looked that man right in the face, and I dropped him on that big fat stack of dimes he likes to call a neck, as the old man would say. And I sent a message to him to let him know that that championship is coming home, is going to belong to the nemesis James Taylor, because I am the be-all, end-all in this business. I am the tyrant king in all of wrestling, and can't nobody in the underground backyard indie scene, not no Twan Tolliver or anybody, can stop me. And that's because there can't be no other way. 2 months ago.
We'll take that off the screen. You'll take it up. I got to pull it off. I can't do. Now I got it off. Primetime Twan Tolliver. That's the man that, seems to have taken your spot. Primetime Twan Tolliver. And you seem to now be facing a roadblock for what you talked about here last on this platform.
Just like I said, can't no man in this world stop me. Nobody. I really don't care who you are, past, present, or future. You can't stop the nemesis, James Taylor. James Taylor will be in Cleveland, Mississippi on December the 6th. And I will, one way or another, Tom, Bryce, I will be in that squared circle. And I will get that Omega Championship, Delta Heavyweight Championship. It's going to belong to me. Not no Twan Tolliver, not no Big Boss TIP. I'll have to insert myself into the match if I got to. I'll go right up to the owner and I'll slap him upside his head and demand that he books that match. Because I earned my shot. TIP threw out his little threats back at me because he got pissed off because I wasn't there. He's ready to get his hands on me as much as I want to get my hands on him. And then this little wedge gets right between us.
And we're watching footage of him. Primetime Twan Tolliver. Yeah,
Twan Tolliver did whatever he had to do to get this championship match, obviously. So obviously he earned it. So does that mean we got 2 number 1 contenders? Does it mean that James Taylor is just null and void? He's put on the shelf, because that damn sure ain't happening. I'm gonna get. Well,
maybe you need to. Maybe this promo. Well, I'll tell you what. Maybe you need to have a conversation with Primetime Twan Tolliver. I'm sure he's gonna hear this. He's gonna definitely hear this in a little while if he hasn't already. But I have no doubt that
the message is definitely going to be sent to Twan Tolliver, because if he didn't see it yet, he's damn sure going to see it here very, very soon.
He's going to find that out. He is going to certainly find out. And, this is supposed to be the biggest weekend of your career coming up next week. This is supposed to be the biggest match. This is an opportunity for you where you could win a major singles championship. And on top of this, you had made a good point that this is the 1-year anniversary of Omega Championship Wrestling, which just passed. Here this company is in Cleveland, Mississippi, making waves everywhere in the South. What you did, everybody had been talking about what you did there, especially what you even did to the big boss, TIP. I had questions about that when you were here last several weeks ago, and this opportunity, for reasons completely out of your hands, seem like it's all forgotten. It's all null and void right now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't really think
You're
that's
supposed
what's
to be
going to
a
be the
Tyrant
case.
King. You're supposed to be a nemesis. And yet, after what you did, going face to face to the big boss TIP, going in there in OCW, winning your debut match, it was supposed to have been your opportunity, set in stone December 6th for 2 months. There was no reason for you to have to prove anything. There was no reason for you to have to go out there and compete. What's yours is yours. But apparently,
It is.
there's somebody in prime time, and not to be confused with Deion Sanders, but rather Twan Tolliver. That certainly,
Mhm.
well, he'd like to have his own Oliver's tail when it comes to taking championship gold that you had in your sights for
You know, I'd like
2
to.
months.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Tom. Everything you're saying, you're hitting the nail right on the head. I mean, it makes absolute sense. I mean, I get that. Look at his stupid little panties that he's wearing. Says that's the business. Let me tell you about the business. You see, I had an obligation to sign a contract. I bring a certain amount of energy and viewership to the table for
Mm.
Omega Championship Wrestling, and yours truly gets a shot at TIP. But I had to earn my shot. I didn't go in and demand a championship match. I didn't go in there and just insert myself into a championship match. I had to earn my shot. And it wasn't just a one-on-one shot, Tom. And it wasn't just a triple threat. It was a fatal four-way. You know how
Yep, we
hard
watched it
and
here on
how
Sportswire.
difficult.
We watched that match. You were going up against men that, like you, had been veterans, men that had certainly become mainstays in the up and coming OCW. But yet, primetime Twan Tolliver, well, he just went 1-on-1, and well, he now finds his way in the path that you once had next Saturday.
So apparently he had some type of a 3 out of 5 series matchup with this guy. From what I found, I did a little more research on it a little bit
Mm,
ago, and
investigative
this was
journalism,
the
I see.
final match. And the final match of that entire series was going to get their number one contendership, regardless of the fact. So as far as that's the case, he earned his shot. Okay, but I
Hmm.
earned mine as well. And that being said, that's where the confusion is starting. There's some type of the communication is starting to fail, is what it seems like. Is there
Oh, you
two
mean to
number one
say what happened? They're
contenders?
not picking up the phone, or maybe Wi-Fi signal? I mean,
I,
what do you
I
think?
ain't got no phone call. I ain't got no text message. I ain't got an email. I ain't got no tweet. I didn't get no story on Instagram.
Hmm.
Nothing on
No,
Snapchat. I didn't get a message on TikTok. Nothing on the Messenger. Nothing on YouTube. All I
you
heard
didn't even
was
get
Twan
maybe
Tolliver.
something in the mail. Because there's a thing called snail mail. You didn't get anything in the mail, maybe a letter, or maybe something. I don't know, maybe a fax, even, or
I didn't
nothing of
even
that
get
sort.
I didn't even get a resignation letter or nothing in the mail. It said, "Kiss my ass, James Taylor. You're out of the business." I didn't get nothing. So I'm up
Hmm.
in the air. So it looks like I have to take business into my own hands. And
Hmm.
that's why I am throwing that out there and demanding that the owner or that the board of directors, whoever makes the bookings, to look at the footage, look at the situation that has come about your product, and make it right, because I am contractually obligated to a championship match against the big boss TIP. I don't care what type of matchup it is. You can bring all the
Hmm.
opponents you want. I'll weed through them all until I get
Hmm.
what I want, and that is the Omega Championship Wrestling Delta Heavyweight Championship. And that's because there can't be no other way.
Well, right now, it seems like that there can be another way, and it doesn't seem as if
As
those
far as
plans.
James being retired, he's not. I saw a comment, I had to say it. James ain't retired. James is retired from the underground and backyard wrestling scene. I
Ah,
said I'm going to further my career until I'm ready to be done. I didn't say that I was done with everything in professional wrestling, because that's what I'm doing. I'm in the indie scene, and I'm in a company that has accepted me and that has brought me on and has signed me to a deal to work with them. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I
and
didn't mean
and
to
there's
cut you off,
footage of
Tom.
you from months ago when you had debuted in OCW before you were victorious. And if you want to find out more on OCW, the chat is definitely going to start popping here. I have a feeling here in a few minutes, but hit the sub button for OCW as we are here with the Nemesis James Taylor, who is Tyrant King like in his words because he is rather defiant that his OCW Delta Heavyweight Championship shot has been taken away from him. It has been taken away from him. Not to compare it to other things out there, but it seems like it's been swept under the rug from him, and it seems like it's going to primetime Twan Tolliver here. So, certainly
I mean, the
James
one thing
Taylor is.
I can appreciate as far as Omega Championship Wrestling is that the owner himself isn't booking himself in matches and making himself champion. That I ain't got to worry about because this is a legit company and that's where it's at. If that stings a little bit, I'm sorry, ladies and germs, but that's just how it is. I just call it like I see it because I've seen bullshit a mile away for as long as I've been alive because I've been through it all. I've been through the experiences in my life. I've been shit on, pissed on. I've had the carpet yanked out from under me 100 million times over,
I
and
just
I'm
said that
sick of
just
it.
now. I just said that just now. But let me ask you, though, this question, especially when it comes to next week. And now, I just want to make sure for the audience, you are 100% going to be there in Cleveland, Mississippi, correct?
100%. I got
Now,
370 miles between me and that championship match.
oh,
So that's
all
what's going
right.
to happen.
Now, that's where it's going to go into my next point. What happens, though, between now and next Saturday and the board of directors and the owner of OCW, for whatever reason, don't give you what was supposed to have been yours? What are you going to do? What type of damage are you going to lay upon that roster? I would be curious because there, as it always is in this sport, cards subject to change. And what happens between now and next time? We're only 9 days away. What if that
Technically, 8
possibility
days
exists?
away. 8.5 days, whatever. You can call it how you see it. 8 days and counting. James Taylor will be in the Cleveland, Mississippi area. He's going to walk right into that OCW arena, and I am going to make sure that something is done. He's got 8 days to respond. And if he doesn't
Yeah.
respond, regardless of the fact, I'm walking through the doors, I'm busting the son of a bitch down, and I'm going right
Mm.
to that ring. And ain't nothing going to stop me. Nobody until I get what I want. And what I want is that Omega Championship belt, period.
And there, was previous again. Once upon a time, that's when the big boss TIP had accepted your challenge. This is a while back, and this is something that we had spoke about in your last appearance here on Sportswire Radio, and obviously, you are not getting what you were to be. Let me ask you though this question. Another chat wants to talk with you, and just to make sure, I know obviously you're very business savvy. I know from your days in the underground and backyard wrestling, you were an owner of a company once upon a time. But did you have a contract? Was there a fine print that said James Taylor, the Tyrant King, the Nemesis, was to get?
100%.
Okay, okay. Want to
This
make sure?
company signed me, Tom. This company saw what I bring to the table and said, hey, let's pull you out of that underground wrestling scene. Let's give you a real spotlight. We're an up and coming company. We could grow together. You bring your 40,000 plus subscribers. We're going to give you the stage and the platform you need. And it's a perfect married match made in heaven, whatever you want to call it. I've got the deal. I
Mm.
signed the dotted line and I'm where I'm at now. I had a fatal four-way match. How many people can really
Yes, we had
survive a
watched that
fatal
here on
four-way match?
Sportswire. Yep.
I
Yes.
went against three of the top wrestlers in the southern hemisphere of the United States. How about that? In the southern states, I went against three of the top wrestlers that I could in the indie scene. I beat all three of those veterans.
You
Now,
did.
Penny,
You penned them. Now listen, you came right in there,
three.
debut match and won. I give you that much. A lot of people would not have been able to have done what you did there in a company like OCW. I give you that.
But I mean, what do I know, right? I'm just the old timer. I'm just the stone cold knockoff. I'm just the stone cold wannabe. But yet this company comes along and says, you know what, James, we see who you are. You are the nemesis, James Taylor. We value you. I get the dotted line signed. I get the match going. I get it booked. I went to Cleveland. I won the fatal four-way. I faced TIP, looked the man face to face, shook his hand like a man, showed my respect. You can clearly
Mm.
hear it where I say it's nothing but respect. And then I sent my message and then I went about my merry way. And then this bullshit happened. So now we got a problem because now I don't know if I'm out that championship match or if I'm still going to get it at a later date. regardless, December 6th, OCW, get ready because I'm coming full force to that arena and all hell will break loose. I promise you that.
Well, let me ask you. I know people want to talk to you in the chat. We're going to continue to keep the OCW links up, and you have certainly been a part of that roster now for a while. But this contract, just to make sure, this is an ironclad contract where you are now exclusively only a member of the OCW roster. This is a long-term contract. Just want to make sure for the audience.
1-year contract right now.
Well, 1 year in this sport is a long-term contract. That is a
1-year contract. So
listen,
September 26th, 2026 will be when my contract is up, and it'll be up to whatever is going on, whether I re-sign or if I become a free agent again. But regardless, 1 year. So right now we're 2 months in. I've had one match.
yes, you have.
Not that that's a bad thing. I don't have to wrestle every single night of the week now, just because I might be a part-timer. I can let me quote the great John Cena, the GOAT that everybody is.
Yeah, I heard of him. I heard of him, John Cena. Yeah, I know a little bit about him.
Yeah, it's my farewell list. It's my farewell. You know what? He once said, I could do this part-time better than any of you could do it full-time. There you go. Because that is a fact. Every time I step in that ring, I leave my mark. Just like I always say I do. And I earn their respect. They've earned mine. No matter who I'm in the ring with, they'll earn my respect if they could survive a matchup with James Taylor. Whether they get the lucky victory that night, almost 90% of the time you're going to see me with the victory in my hand raised. But regardless,
and there you were in OCW. Obviously, this is where you were in OCW. This is your debut, which we've showed in the past. And I know there's some different people out there, and that is where James is now officially a part of. And obviously, you are certainly looking for big things there. We are with the nemesis, James Taylor, the Tyrant King himself, who is in action next weekend for Omega Championship Wrestling's last show of the year. And it remains to be seen because James was supposed to have gotten a Delta Heavyweight Championship shot against the Big Boss TIP, but right now it seems like it's going to Primetime Twan Tolliver. We are here in Primetime, and obviously there are some people here in the chat. I'm going to get to them, and we'll come back for some. We're going to find out. Plus, we'll come back for some final words with you here on a Thanksgiving edition here of Sportswire, and a lot to talk about here the next week. We have some very, very influential guests here, and we'll talk about one of them. I know, and that's why I have it on the screen. And this is Sean Jovi, the resident rock star, who is one half of the IMF Tag Team Champions, the man that he is the resident rock star of the underground wrestling community, and of course sports. I want to say, by God, James Taylor, and he said he beat Zilla and everyone else in the chat. And also he did want to say that I know not everyone is a James Taylor guy, but I am thankful to have him on our platform. Yes, and I am very thankful that Sean Jovi is the first backyard and underground wrestler to have come on Sportswire. And I am very thankful that James Taylor is back on Sportswire home as well. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And I hope everybody is safe out there and is enjoying what's left of Thanksgiving and here with us. And speaking of people that I guess there's somebody here with a black screen. This seems to me like it is the Hall of Fame monitor of Sportswire Radio, Mr. Justin Parsley. And he really asked, is this an old episode? No, it's not. It's not. We're live. It's funny. Names that have been here throughout the last few years are asking these questions. And, not like a rerun, but isn't the guest going to be an elderly gentleman?
Last I checked, that man right there ain't far behind me. Maybe like 2 years or something. I don't know.
No, is he really that? Are you saying he's 40? No, he can't be 40.
I mean, look at him. Look at his face. The guy probably smoked his whole life for vape.
No. Well, wait a minute. He has a black screen. I'm not looking at you.
I mean, look at that. He don't want to show the wrinkles he's got.
Well, let me ask you a question. Would you like to wrestle him still? Would you like to wrestle him?
He starred in a blockbuster back in 1984, so I know the man's got a couple of wrinkles.
That's an actor. He's a wrestler. His name's Justin Parsley. He really is a wrestler.
I would still love.
He pinned you, by the way, though, last year.
I would still love a one-on-one matchup with Justin Parsley because out wrestle him any day of the week. Period.
Now,
I think it'd be
now,
a
I
hell.
mean,
It'd be a one hell of an entertaining matchup. That'd
but
be
you would
for
like
sure.
to have that match still, especially if you're somehow.
There's some names. If people really want to know, all they got to do is ask me. But yeah,
No,
there's a
I mean,
few names.
he's.
There's a few names on this hand alone that I would like to have a few one-on-one matchups left. I don't care. I know
Well,
they're
he
in the
holds a pinfall.
underground.
Justin Parsley is one of those people that does hold a pinfall victory over you, which is why I had asked if that was something you still had in your sights. Again, Mr. Parsley, like you, has certainly wrestled and been around the block. I mean, I don't know what his future would be. This is really the first time we're seeing him here in the chat in quite a while, but I mean, obviously people are allowed to have their thoughts, and I was being nice this holiday season to let him on my platform, Parsley boy. Sean Jovi misses, or Sean Selby misses Justin Parsley. I don't, though. You lost your flavor like your old brother. Okay, we'll leave on. Yeah, well, I think I know that reference is too. Thank you, though. And you, Turkey, he better give thanks. And I had put will be on in a few because we were going through technical difficulties. And yes, we had to wait. Sorry about that. Apologies. But I think we've warmed up the crowd a little bit. And speaking of which, maybe, James, I could for a minute give a little plug because tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, I would hope that people would want to tune into this guy here. You probably heard of him. Maybe you've seen him on your television screen. And yeah, this guy named Raven, apparently TNA Impact Wrestling Hall of Famer, and ECW World Heavyweight Champion, WCW United States Champion, and a man that has certainly been a part of our television screens for generations, and has a new documentary out called Nevermore: The Raven Effect. And he was here on Sportswire Radio, and he'll be here tomorrow night. And that's the man, really. Yes.
I
Yes.
gotta point out, back in the Attitude Era, when he finally came to the WWF, he had one of the most badass wrestling themes ever. And I
Yes.
loved it. So if you never heard it, I'm sure a lot of guys that are here old school like me would know what I'm talking about. But when he came in 2001, he had that Raven music when he came out,
Yes.
that with the crow with the Raven.
Yes, it was on the
It was
Volume 5 soundtrack, if I recall correctly. It was on
Yeah.
WWF The Music Volume 5.
such a badass song.
Yes.
So definitely, that's
And,
a hell of a guest you got there. I'm gonna tune in for sure.
I
usually
appreciate
take
that.
over
Yes,
there.
I do appreciate that. And I want to thank everybody for their support for getting us to have Raven on here. And Raven doesn't do many interviews. In fact, the last one he did was this guy you probably heard of named Chris Jericho. I was actually his last one, actually, and he came on to ours right afterwards. Maybe they like the heavy metal interviews, which I actually just play a role into that. That's people like those, and he had heard a few of them, so we appreciate that very much. We'll take this off the screen because a lot of people want to talk to you. This dinosaur is gonna go. No, you're here. Don't worry about the Hall of Fame monitor. That's not true. Serious question, James. How did you get that yellow stripe painted down your back? What?
I don't know. Why don't you answer the same question? Because last I heard, you weren't on the last IMF show. But what's up with that, bro? What's the hurricane? What's up with that?
I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. I just want to keep the gravy train going and remind you, James, I actually have this video game.
That's a hell of a video game right there.
Yes. Yeah, it's a hell of a game.
NWO
Yeah.
Thunder.
Yes.
I got that same game on the PS1. Yep.
Yes. Well, that's what it is. That's when I told Mr. Raven that. And Raven episode airs before James. No, he's here. But speaking of people right after Raven that are on here, a man that I am so excited to talk about, but his name now is Johnny Velocity, and Johnny Velocity is a double champion right now. He's the ROEW Prestige champion. He's the EWA Eternal champion. He's going to be here right after this guy Raven comes on here. And a man you obviously, I think you'd recognize, a man you've interviewed on your own platform once upon a time. And Mr. Velocity returns also here as a founding father of the platform. He's here right after Raven tomorrow. You recognize the face, maybe the name you're slipping up a bit, but I'm sure that the face, once you see him here tomorrow, you'll definitely recognize, I'm sure.
Number 2 guy on that list of 5. Yeah.
Well, you want to wrestle Raven. I got that you want to wrestle Raven, but he's done. Raven's not wrestling anymore.
Not Raven.
Oh, okay. He has
Mr.
Parkinson's,
JV. No,
well,
not Sean Jovi.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I
Braun. He's always going to be Dark Braun in my
Johnny
eyes.
Velocity now, but I can tell Johnny tomorrow that you would still love to wrestle him. And Johnny actually has a chance to have 3 championship belts next week. And right after your match, he's wrestling the next day. And he's going to talk about that possibility of being, well, Johnny 3 belts. I mean, he's got that possibility. So we're going to talk
Well
about that.
deserved. The man's been due some
A great man, a
championships
great man. And I'm
over
so
the
happy
past
to honor
couple of
him.
years.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I'm very happy to have him on here. And Grand Theft Auto 6 for James FSSI. Now maybe Mr. Parsley's warming up to replace me on Sportswire. Maybe he's auditioning, maybe after Raven and Mr. Velocity and then Jason Storms. Maybe it's time to retire and let Mr. Parsley. You said it. You said that he wasn't at his match in the IMF. Now I'm aware of that because we played that footage, but maybe you're trying
I
to
don't
imply
remember
that
seeing it.
I'm going to leave that at that because we want to certainly keep going. We want to keep everybody happy. But maybe Mr. Parsley, if you're saying it, maybe he has some time to replace me on Sportswire, and you could maybe have to deal with him as an interviewer. Would you like that? No,
Yeah, no. You know what? Go ahead.
no, he's not on the chat right now. He's not. Grand Theft Auto 6 might be out by then. Okay, we'll get to some more comments. We thought the same, and he's here. Yes. Okay, let's get to some more comments. Also, Sean Jovi did have a funny one that today is a bad day for the war chants in Turkey land. Kind of, yeah, actually, kind of. Speaking of people that are up and coming talents, we have the TPW champion, the lover boy Dario Divine, who has been a staple on Sportswire of late, and wanted to say he's checking in to hear from the legend James Taylor. That's nice of Dario Divine showing up here.
Dario,
obviously.
I
Yes.
don't know who you are. I'm sorry, but I have to put a
No.
face with a name. Maybe I don't know.
He's
You know what? If you heard of me, then
you'll
that's a
find
good
out
thing.
more about him. Just stay tuned. Trust me. Speaking of people that definitely know you and that they will be back on before the year is out, that guy. I'm sure he's on your list to wrestle, right? A protege of yours, right? Yeah, he's definitely on your list.
Joey Knight Jr. Yep, that's a guy that I trained wrestling promo wise. And look where he's gotten himself. He's been making a hell of a mark, going throughout the South himself. And it's just, I think, probably a matter of time before our
You
paths
guys
cross
not too
again.
far from each other. Absolutely, you guys not too far from each other. And Joey is also a big social media star on his own YouTube channel, and he has been a staple on the platform. And also give a follow to James's YouTube channel and some other things out there. We'll plug his shorts, and he's got 40-something thousand subscribers, so we'll get to some more people. Thank you, Joey. And speaking of other veterans in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit, the one and only Hillbilly Tilly wanted to say howdy, Tom, howdy, James. And Hillbilly Tilly is a big fan of my war chants. Thank you very much. And the man that is going to be here Saturday night, a man you have quite a history with when you were in the underground, that is now the outlaw, Jason Storm. Said you were retired. I mean, some people think that, but you are far from retired after what you've talked about tonight. But Mr. Storm is here, and he will talk about his rather change of attitude. It's for the, maybe some would say a different or better attitude, but he'll talk about that Saturday night. And I'm excited.
Okay.
You know, obviously you're familiar with Jason Storm, right? You're familiar with him? You heard of him?
I heard the name.
You heard of him? That's very good. But if you're here right now,
I don't know what he's got to say, but I mean, clearly he'll probably get on here and talk his trash on me. If he don't,
no, he's got a lot to talk about.
He's
got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of ROEW to talk about, a lot of IMF to talk about. Jason has been at the forefront of that.
Let me say this.
Yes, sir.
Jason, if you're in here watching, it's nothing personal, you know. I just believe that it wasn't the right timing as much as I would have wanted it to be. Do I still want to wrestle you? Do I still want to fight you? Of course I still want to fight you. Of course I still want to step into a squared circle with you one day. No ill will. Business is business, though. And with me at the age that I am, you know, that's why I'm retired from the underground wrestling scene. Does it mean that I hate everybody? Hell no. There's respect there. There's still respect. To the ones that respect me, you got my respect as well. The ones that showed everything and valued me for who I was and didn't try and poke fun at me or make fun of me or whatever, you know, you got my respect. But for all the naysayers or for all the ones that wanted to give me shit because I didn't show up, you know what? I did what was best for me and my family and what I've got going on in my life. Because at the age that I am, I need to look forward of what's best for my health and what's best for me when it comes to wrestling in a squared circle, whether it's a 16 by 16, 18, or a 20, whatever it is. When I get there, it has to make sense for me in order for it to work. And if it isn't going to do anything for me, then there's no reason for me to do it. I have no problem putting someone over. I have no problem if they want to put whatever the case may be. But if it makes no sense at that time, that's why I'm not going to do it. So no ill will there, Jason Storm. One day, if we get that
Yeah.
opportunity before my time runs out, let's see what happens. But other than that, and that's to anybody else that's in that underground wrestling scene. But I just want to go ahead and throw that out there right now, Tom. No ill will, no drama, no nothing. We're going to put us all on notice right now in the most positive way I can.
Especially
I
because
show up. I
yes,
show up when it makes sense. I show up if it's best for business and if it's best for me and my intentions as well as it is the company. It has to make sense for everything in order for
yeah.
it to work. And if it doesn't, it's just I'm not going to do it. That's all. It doesn't mean if
Listen,
I
you know
show
what?
up.
It's your life. I mean, look, and I think ultimately we want to give everybody an opportunity, and I certainly for one am excited to see you in the ring coming up next weekend, and I think that look, that's to me the positive. Let's focus on the positives, and please hit the sub button for OCW. And speaking of people that'll be here Saturday afternoon at 5 o'clock Eastern time, the dawn of combat. AJ Harrison. James, you've caught my attention. I know you've competed in TPW before, so why don't you come back at some point and lose to me in promo wrestling? Which I think you just basically said you're done with all of that. You're focused on in being in OCW. But he tried. Listen, it's worth a try. It is worth a try. But the Dawn of Combat will be here at 5 o'clock Eastern time on Saturday. We have a lot to talk about with him. EPW, TPW,
Here's attention.
ACC.
I don't even know who in the hell he is.
Well, he's actually also an actor. He's got an IMDb page, got a big following on YouTube like you, almost 4,000 subscribers. So he's Instagram, 6,000 plus followers. So he's well known as also.
Okay. You know what? Still never heard of him. He's obviously heard of me. He clearly has done a little bit of homework to know where I've been.
Yeah.
So, Dawn, I don't know if you're part
The
of the
Dawn of
mafia.
Combat.
I don't know if you're Italian. I don't know if you're part of the mafia. I don't know if you like playing the Godfather video games. I don't know if you like going down to Olive Garden and getting some spaghetti. But go ahead, light your little cigar or your little cigarette. Go get your little squad mafia car, whatever it is you got, Don. And you sit back and watch what the Nemesis James Taylor could do. Because if I had ever had a one-on-one matchup with you, whether it's on the mic, whether it's in a squared circle, whether it's on a trampoline, whether it's just face-to-face in a street fight, just like that, I'd end you, period.
Well, I mean, we'll certainly find out. And obviously, Riley Bates, the one and only Riley Bates, I didn't know he had history with you, but he said,
I don't even
what's
know who
Elmer
the hell
Fudd
that
doing
is.
here?
And I don't know about Elmer Fudd. That's Looney Tunes. You see, Elmer Fudd's bald. I'm not.
I
So
see.
I don't know. I'm sure. I know as sure as shit he ain't referring to me as Elmer Fudd. So I mean,
Oh,
if this guy's that big enough, he could come on here and tell me that to my face. But clearly
okay.
nobody
Well,
can.
maybe we'll move on and give it a pass. I don't know who was talking about, but James Taylor, the Tyrant King, is nothing compared to a Don. I think you just went into that. Hello to WCE. Hello, they would like to say hello. And speaking of people that you mentioned, Mr. Johnny Velocity, and he'll be here tomorrow, and he could have the possibility to have 3 championship belts, and that could conclude as of next Sunday there. And happy Turkey Day, gobble gobble. And yes, we're very excited about Raven, and the good guy CJ Black is back here next Thursday as well in your chair. He returns to
I'll
sports.
be damned.
Yes, well, he has some things to say. I'm sure you
damned.
heard and what happened at our anniversary in ROBW. So there's some things he would like to say, and I appreciate that. Yes, WCW Thunder. Yeah, I didn't want to show it to Raven exactly, but because Raven is not one of those who, well, you'll see in the interview, but we won't spoil it. Yes, it was a great game, and there you go, Johnny. Could have 3 championships: the U.S., the Eternal, and the ROW Prestige Championship. Listen, this could be for 4 championships if you somehow get your way. The OCW Delta Heavyweight Champion, Johnny being the ROW Prestige, the EWA Eternal, and the United States Champion. I mean, for 4 belts there, what a prize that would be somewhere. I don't know who would make that match happen or how it could, but, that's still the possibility.
You ever wonder, Tom, why
But
everybody wants to come out and they're like, you know what? This guy versus James Taylor. This guy versus James Taylor. James don't want to face me because he's scared. This should be the match. This guy and James Taylor. Do you know why I'm always in everybody's mouth? Because
why?
clearly it's the fact that they know they get that one-on-one matchup with me that is going to be the best and most entertaining matchup of their entire career. That's the one that everybody talks about.
Mm-hmm.
That's the match that everybody wants, and not that I'm flat. I'm flattered at it. I'm honored for it, but
Yeah.
can't satisfy everybody.
All right. Listen. You know what?
Taylor versus Velocity, that'd be a hell of a match. I find that
I
to be
would love
Taylor
to
versus
see as a.
Kron.
Well, I would love to see James Taylor and a lot of wrestlers here in the chat. I think it's cute. You're so concerned about what I've been up to. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy.
You're welcome, sweetheart. I'm
Yeah,
still waiting to see if you'll sign my 4K version of Terminator whenever I meet you again in person.
Please hit
All
the
right.
sub button for James Taylor's YouTube page. And also, our friends in CSW, it's been a while. I've been busy with work, and happy Thanksgiving. Yes, thank you to Abram Storm and our friends in CSW, obviously always keeping it real and holding down the line here in the fort. Me and Taylor are from the same generation and would have a bagger. Yes, we know the history between you and him. I mean, it's basically an identical history in terms of how long the both of you have been in this sport. And there is that possibility of what could happen between Johnny Velocity and James Taylor. That is certainly something I'll ask Mr. Velocity tomorrow night. We'll be talking about his matches. Also, he's up for some awards and awards in ROEW this year, and I think a lot of
I
people
hope he
will.
wins every one of them.
Well, he could very well win them, and he certainly. This is it though. But remember, I want to remind you though, his career comes to an end next year. So if you don't get that match with Velocity, I mean, it
Well,
might be too
we
late.
come from the same generation, Velocity. We come from the same generation, kid. And you're ending it next year. But
Yes.
I'm not. My contract ends next year.
Yes.
I become a free agent again.
Well, we don't know. I
Never
think
say never, kid.
well, we do know your contract runs, correct me until I'm wrong, till September of 26. I think it's unsure on when his in-ring career. It sounds to me like it's going to come to an end before that, but I mean, who knows? Who knows what could really happen there? And Johnny's career comes to an end in July, so we are coming down the home stretch of that, and maybe he could pull out a name that you heard of, but obviously. And AJ Harrison is saying TPW is the best it's ever been with me as the U.S. champion. If you really think you can hang with me on the mic, let's run it. You ain't gonna talk the talk and not back it up, are you? But obviously, look, he's obviously got his feelings.
I love the energy that these kids bring. They really think that they're all that and then some. But I promise you, kid, I'd eat you up and throw you away. I mean, come on.
And we've talked about this here in the past. Johnny has a well documented amount of health issues that he's contending with, and
I understand. I know. I got that.
Well
I don't know if he's
documented.
calling me Bubba, but yeah.
Well, now I know you got to run.
Business, man. All respect, brother.
I want to get final words from you when it comes to the Big Boss TIP, especially. But before we do that, I do want to present something on my screen for you because obviously it's always good to have you here, and it's been a minute. But congratulations, you're back in the Hall of Fame because there can't be no other way. So I thought that would be another clever way to induct you in the Hall of Fame again. And hopefully you'll take the physical copy when we're off the air. You've, I know, done this far too often, but I'm sure you'll accept
great.
another certificate. Yeah. So
yeah,
I thought that's a clever way to get you back in the Hall of Fame because there can't be no other way. And you'll just have to open things up until this Raven guy comes on here tomorrow, which I think you can certainly be okay with that one. Yeah, that guy you can be okay with. Yeah, you can be okay with him. But all right, obviously we spoke a lot tonight about your future coming up here next Saturday, OCW, the roadblock that you're currently facing to your path to that OCW Delta Heavyweight Championship and the Big Boss TIP. So I give you the opportunity then, maybe in a part one and in part two. And first, what are your final words to management, the board of directors, and even the owner of OCW in regards to next Saturday?
All I'm going to say is that time's ticking now. 8 days and counting. Granted, today's the holiday, so today's not going to count as the 9th day. Black Friday's tomorrow, and it's going to be one hell of a black day for sure. OCW is right around the corner for December 6th. James Taylor is going to show up in Cleveland, Mississippi. Come hell or high water, no questions asked. I've got my opportunity to go one-on-one with the big boss TIP. And if I don't get my championship match, there's going to be a lot of hell to pay. So I'm advising that the board of directors and that the owner come together, contact James Taylor, and let him know what's happening Saturday, December 6th, when I walk in through the doors. Because if I don't get my answer within that 8-day time frame, I damn sure am going to get it that day, because that event will not even happen.
Oh, whoa! I had asked you that question. What would happen?
I'll take the show hostage.
I had asked you that question. I had asked that a little while ago. I'm glad that I knew I'd get that answer, because there is that possibility right now, as of today, November 27th, 2025, James Taylor does not get that Omega Championship Wrestling Delta heavyweight title shot. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to find a way, come hell or high water, to get that. So I ask you then, if you had final words for the big boss TIP, what would they be here before next Saturday?
I can promise you this, big boss TIP, and that is on December 6th. Whether the nemesis James Taylor gets that matchup or not, you will see me in Cleveland, Mississippi one more time if that's what it takes. And if there's no championship match included, then I'm just going to beat the living hell out of you in front of every single person there, whether your family's there, whether your boys are there, whether anybody from your little clique is there. Because I heard what you had to say on the following show after I left you looking up at the lights in the OCW arena the last time that you saw me face to face, and you made that little idle threat that anybody that usually does that in your neck of the woods gets their ass kicked. Is that right? Not this guy. You know how long it's been since I've really had my ass whipped? You think I'm afraid of getting my ass whipped? You better make sure that you break every bone in my body. You'll have to kill me to stop me. You have to break every bone in my body and put me on the shelf for the rest of my career to be done with me, TIP. And if I get screwed out of this championship match, then me and you are going to have even more of a problem. This show will be taken hostage if I don't get what I want, if I don't get what I am deserved. So, Twan Tolliver, you might be the number one contender now, but James Taylor is still the number one contender, so keep that in the back of your head. And if I don't care if it's a one-on-one match between you two, and then one of you win it, I'm still getting my shot. And regardless of the fact, on December 6th in Cleveland, Mississippi, I guarantee that TIP will no longer be the OCW Delta champion. Bet that.
Because I guess there can't be no other way, ladies and gentlemen. So you heard it here tonight. James Taylor says, come hell or high water, he will get that Omega Championship Wrestling Delta title shot. And even if he has to hold hostage the entire roster and even, hijack the show, he'll do it. He will get his way. There can't be no other way, as I stated. James Taylor, listen, he said, doesn't matter about primetime Twan Tolliver. He's the number one contender. This was a match that was promised to him 2 months ago, and now it's time to collect. It's been a feud that has been going on for months between him and the big boss TIP, and it doesn't matter about primetime Twan Tolliver. It doesn't matter even about the rest of the OCW roster. It doesn't even matter that OCW has now surpassed 1 year in the books. The last show of the year, it's not going to go on until James Taylor gets that OCW Delta title shot, which he was promised. And we now know that it was in the fine print and details. He had a contract for it. He says he's got the paperwork to prove it, and now it's time to collect on that contract. Primetime Twan Tolliver may be out of luck because James Taylor says he's got what it takes to back it up. And it seems like the big boss TIP is on the clock. But most importantly, the owner of OCW, the board of directors, and the rest of management, they better now live up to their end of the bargain because James Taylor's got a deal. And we're going to certainly be talking a lot about this post next Saturday. And the only way to keep in touch with James Taylor is on social media, certainly Instagram. You need to check him out on YouTube. Make sure you check him out on YouTube by giving him a follow. Also, OCW. Make sure you hit that sub button for OCW. Make sure you support them. Make sure you go and follow James Taylor and keep an eye on what he's up to. TikTok as well. Keep him up to date with all the great things he's doing. And also, big shout out to the YBW champion, the KTW Retro World champion, Dominic with that Razor Instinct. He has been the YBW champion for more than a year now. And in the backyard circuit, he's the man on top. And right now, James Taylor is looking to be the man on top in Mississippi in the independent wrestling circuit. We'll have to see. And also, James Taylor, we congratulate him once again in joining the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And I'm going to pass the baton to you for some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say? You now have that opportunity.
You know, a lot of guys have come before me and said that they were going to defeat me. They said they were going to beat me. They said they've got more passion than me. They say they're a better wrestler than me. You know, I might not be the best built wrestler out there. I might not be the best looking wrestler out there. I might not be the fastest wrestler out there, the most charismatic wrestler out there. But if you roll all those things into one, I think I'm a pretty damn good guy in that ring. Nobody, and I mean it with all my heart, nobody eats, sleeps, breathes, scratches, claws, cries, breaks their bones, bleeds, everything for this business more than me. I really, really, truly hope one day somebody will. I challenge somebody to be on my level because I will go out there like no tomorrow. Back up every single word that I say because I always do. I always am on my A game and I'm always going to bring 100%. Technically, it's not about championships. It's about what's due to me, what's owed to me, what I've deserved, what I have earned. I've been handing nothing. Nobody hands me anything on a silver platter. I don't run my own shop so that way I can get everything to myself. I earn everything that I get. The clothes on my back, the roof over my head, this fucking bathroom door, every single thing that I have to my name, I've earned. I was given nothing. What part of that in wrestling does anybody not ever understand? So, TIP, Twan Tolliver, James Taylor is coming 100 miles an hour, 390-something miles away from this very spot where I am sitting is the OCW 18 by 18 ring. You will see James Taylor kick the damn doors down in that arena, and I will get what I want on December the 6th, come hell or high water, and nobody will stop me, period.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, and what could be the biggest match of James Taylor's career if he gets that opportunity. I mean, we had said in introducing you here a few hours ago that this would be on the eve of the biggest match of your career, but right now as it stands, well, we don't know, and we're going to certainly be, I'm sure, following very closely if you get that contractually obligated OCW Delta title shot that you were promised and you won fair and square. But right now that goes to Primetime Twan Tolliver. And obviously you have put OCW, you have put the owner, the board of directors, the rest of management, and most certainly the big boss TIP and even Primetime Twan Tolliver on notice. You have certainly put them on notice, and I'm sure time will tell. And we will have you back on here next month to figure out if you get your wish and you become that OCW Delta champion. And you've also stated that you are now an active member of the OCW roster. You have an ironclad 1-year contract, and that's in this sport a long time. And that means you're an exclusive member of the OCW roster. And the way to follow OCW before we sign off here is by giving them a sub on YouTube, checking them out on Facebook, also joining us and James Taylor on social media, and but most importantly, hit the sub button for them. Also follow James Taylor on YouTube and check him out on Instagram, TikTok, and got a Facebook page, but doesn't really promote it much because he's not really on Facebook as much as the other platforms. But yes, Dominic is a double world champion. He also wanted to congratulate you and thank you, Dominic. And Dominic will be a big topic Sunday night because Magnum Carter is going to be here Sunday night after what I think is going to be another historic show from our friends in YBW Anarchy Sanctum 5. It's going to wind up being Magnum Carter versus Aaron Blaze. The Golden Guns have imploded, and Magnum Carter will be here, and we'll see if Dominic is going to be facing Magnum Carter or it's going to be Aaron Blaze for Dominic's championship. But we'll certainly talk about that Sunday. But I also want to, before we go, I want to make sure everyone is here a few different times. First, you got to be here almost all evening tomorrow on Sportswire Radio. First, because there's this guy that I think most wrestling fans have heard of. Most wrestling fans, I can safely say, have heard of this guy, Raven, and he spent some time with us here. He'll be tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Sportswire Radio right here. And then right afterwards, you'll hear from Mr. Johnny Velocity. And then Saturday, 5 o'clock Eastern Time, you got AJ Harrison, the Don of Combat. And also, Jason Storm will be here at 9:15 Saturday. And then we've got Magnum Carter Sunday night at 9:15. And then there's this band called Megadeth. You know, speaking of WCW, and, you know, once upon a time, Megadeth had performed a song for, you know, you heard of this wrestler called Goldberg, right? I'm sure you heard of Goldberg before, right? Yeah, well, we have, you know, the guitarist, or one of the guitarists from the band, Chris Poland, will be here as well. So I had announced that earlier in the week. So some big guests ahead, and yeah, Chris Poland from the band Megadeth, and he played famously on the album Peace Sells, But Who's Buying, and he'll be here Sunday, and we'll have Magnum Carter. So a lot of guests, but you certainly opened it up here on quite a Thanksgiving week. It is on Sportswire Radio. We're thankful for you, and we're always thankful that you're in our Hall of Fame many times over, and congratulations on all the success. And yes, also David Elfson's the following week. He is the man that was the co-founder of the band, but we'll talk with Mr. Poland first. And yeah, I was telling people about that, and people were like, wow. Yeah, and but we'll get to that. But Raven tomorrow, Johnny Velocity right after, about 9 o'clock with Johnny. Johnny's got a lot to say, and Johnny doesn't come on here often. And, you know, Jason Storm is here also the following night. And I'm sure, you know, you may be busy, you know, planning obviously to take over OCW, but he'll be here, and I'm sure you'll have maybe a thought or two on that when you come back on Sports. But until then, I hope for the OCW locker room's sake that you get this Delta Championship shot. I even hope for your own sake, because you've put so much into this, and what was supposed to have been the biggest match of your career, and a match we spoke a lot about earlier in the fall. So I really hope that you get what you want, and hopefully that roster could be spared, and you know, the casualties from the roster and the board of directors and the ownership, that it will be spared a bit, and we'll talk about it when you come back, I'm sure, hopefully.
Yes, we'll definitely find out, won't we? I'll be looking forward to coming back on here and talking about it.
I am certainly hoping that you get that match so we can talk about it. But that is the one and only, the nemesis, the Tyrant King, James Taylor. And James Taylor is an active member of the OCW roster, and he will do whatever it takes, come hell or high water, by any means necessary. We always sit on this platform, by any means necessary. He will get his OCW Delta Championship shot, which he was contractually obligated to get. We'll be following that closely. He spoke a lot about that, because right now it's going to primetime Twan Tolliver. But thank you, everybody, here for tuning in. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally with all music and wrestling matters. I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving. God bless you. God bless you and your families. And I hope that whatever is the rest of your Thanksgiving, you get to celebrate it. And thank you for spending some time with us here tonight. And hopefully your Black Friday shopping goes as well. And be here, please, tomorrow starting at 8:30 with Raven. And we'll have a lot to talk about afterwards, I'm sure, with Johnny Velocity and then AJ Harrison and Jason Storm. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station, that is Sportswire Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Thank you so much, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. There can't be no other way that James Taylor is here with us to celebrate a founding father of Sportswire Radio. We'll see you tomorrow for Raven, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. This will be one I promise you won't want to miss. Thank you for your support in getting Raven here. We'll see you tomorrow.